Hey everyone, welcome back to the Science Behind the Bible, where we dive into the science behind the Bible to prove how science and the Bible go hand in hand. Today, we're going to be talking about the LA fires. Unfortunately, this is a devastating thing that has been going on, and if you have been following it, it is just so sad. I heard that a lot of celebrities have lost their homes. I think there was another celebrity, I forgot her name, but she had to literally evacuate her home, and it's just so sad that people are losing all of their homes and their possessions. It's just really sad right now. But I wanted to talk about this because I've been online a lot, on Instagram specifically. I don't have TikTok anymore, but I've been scrolling a lot through Instagram Reels, and all I see are these videos of people saying, oh, God caused the fires to happen. Then you see people attributing it to Satan. And I made a video on my Instagram, a little Instagram Reel, and here on YouTube, a YouTube short about a different perspective on why I believe the fires had happened. And I wanted to just expand on that a little bit today because this is so unfortunate that people are just making all these assumptions up. So yes, the fires are extremely devastating. And one of the things that I saw a lot of people go to was Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's a story from the Bible. But basically, God rained fire down on Sodom and Gomorrah because of their evil and wickedness. Now, a lot of people were saying, oh, God is just doing the same thing to LA because of all the wicked things that go on in Hollywood and XYZ. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really believe that that's possible at this present moment. Yes, I believe God can do whatever he wants. If he truly wants to rain fire down somewhere, he can rain fire. Trust me, he can do whatever he wants. He's God. I'm not going to tell God what to do, obviously. But I would just say that I don't believe that that's not a thing that's happening right now. Now, one of the reasons why I really believe this happened is going to be scientific answer: climate change. Now you're thinking climate change. Okay, we all hear climate change. Yes, I believe it's climate change, and I do believe that climate change is biblical. And if you haven't checked out this podcast I did an episode of my podcast called Did the Fall of Mankind Cause Climate Change? And that is basically what I believe is the cause of the LA fires, is climate change and the fall of mankind. So basically, we start off Genesis. We have the fall of mankind. Eve eats the apple. Adam and Eve are cursed with sin. Now, I'm going to read from Genesis what happens after the fall of mankind. I think this will bring a different perspective. Okay, so this is what happens after the fall. In Genesis chapter 3, down here in verse 17, it says, "Cursed is the ground for your sake. In toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you. You shall eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground. For out of it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return." Now, as you can see here, the ground is cursed. Now, what is the ground? Well, the ground is literally our ground, right? The earth is cursed because of what happened from Adam and Eve's sin. So that would only logically make sense that now our earth is cursed, under a little bit of a curse here. And what does that mean? You're going to say, oh my gosh, a curse. Like, no, a curse basically just meaning that there's going to be trouble and distress on this earth. And we can obviously see that with things like wildfires, big hurricanes, snowstorms. If you're in parts of the country, there's like rapid snowstorms. Everywhere now, there's a lot of problems on our ground. Even things with groundwater, it has issues, local waters on the ground, things like that. So we see a lot of problems on the ground, on the earth. Now, if you just think about it, even not from a biblical perspective a little bit here, we all make choices in our life, right? And we all can decide for, okay, I'm going to do this or that. And what do you notice? I notice a lot of people want to do things that are in their best interest only, especially a lot of these corporations, these big CEOs. A lot of times they want money, greed, all these different things, right? They want things for themselves. I've noticed a lot of times you go to like a big CEO, like a big company, they're always about themselves. And I'm not trying to be rude to anybody, but again, that is literally what people are. Most likely you see a lot of people in these big, large companies, in these giant global big places around the world. A lot of times there are greed. Even in politicians, there's greed. And what I notice is that people literally will just be about themselves and will say, okay, this is what's in my best interest. I don't care what happens to the earth. I don't care what happens to people around me. As long as it benefits me and I make the money that I want, that's all that matters. And that is exactly what I believe happened because of the fall of mankind. I believe we are now tainted with sin. We all have sin inside of us that wants us to do things that are in our own best interest out of selfish ambition. We all want to decide to do things that only benefit us, and we don't care about the people around us. And because of all our selfish ambitions and our pride and all the things that we do that are sinful, I believe that's going to have consequences down the line. And that is what I believe causes things such as climate change. Because if you're an owner of a large corporation, you're just going to say, I don't care what happens to the earth. I'm just going to burn fossil fuels all I want. Then guess what? You're going to have consequences. And those consequences are going to affect people around you. All your consequences are going to seep down into everything around you. So I'm going to also read another verse here that was really important, I thought, from Romans here. For the creation was subjected to fertility, not willingly, but because of him who subjected it in hope. Because the creation itself also will be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of children of God. For we know the whole creation groans and labors with birth pangs, eagerly waiting the adoption, the redemption of our body. Now, there's more to that section, but really it's talking about how all creation is subjected to the fall of mankind. Now, if all creation is subjected, the earth and the ground would also be subjected. The trees would be subjected to that. And why do I believe that all the creation is subjected to the fall of mankind? Because of humans. I believe that human sin has negative effects to the creation. Like I said before, a big corporation can decide, I don't care, I'm just going to burn a ton of fossil fuels. I'm just going to dig oil here. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And I don't care what happens to the world around me. That is going to have consequences on our environment. You can even take a large corporation that is in like the fishing industry. They could literally wipe out entire fishery just because they're selfishly wanting all the money and saying, you know what? I just want money, money, money. But then guess what happens? They wipe out an entire fishery. Like, let's say, and I pray this never happens, but let's say they wiped out the entire Atlantic menhaden population, the bunker. Literally what would happen is that would affect the sharks, the dolphins, the whales, any animal that were to eat that fish. So again, we all have consequences down in the world here. And I believe that the reason why we have things such as large wildfires and a bunch of other devastating things is because of our sinful nature, wanting to do things that are contrary to what we should do. And then again, it reaps really negative consequences because the Bible says you do reap what you sow. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I would just like to offer my sincerest prayers and condolences to everybody going through the LA wildfires. I am so sorry that this has happened to you. And I do pray that you are all safe if you are in the area. I know some brothers and some sisters who have been affected just by wildfire smoke. So I just pray you guys are doing well as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I just pray that you guys would be comforted in this moment and realize that God's not just raining fire down on you. God's not just doing X, Y, Z. I just pray that you would realize that. And peace be with you all.